1 Star Wars. The Clone Wars plotline revealed Anakin Skywalker's future as Sith Lord Darth Vader to him years before his fall in Star Wars, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, but even that couldn't change his fate. The Clone Wars is one of Star Wars' best TV shows, in part because it supplied so much essential context to other Star Wars movies, Revenge of the Sith in particular. In fact, among Star Wars movies and TV shows, The Clone Wars includes some of the most crucial plot lines. One storyline in The Clone Wars in particular almost changed Anakin Skywalker's imminent downfall, thereby shifting the Star Wars timeline forever. Tragically, one key moment prevented that from happening. Although Anakin bore witness to his future as Darth Vader in The Clone Wars, his fate in Star Wars remained unchanged. Anakin Skywalker saw his future as Darth Vader in the Clone Wars story arc that introduced the Mortis gods, the father, son, and daughter who represented balance in the Force. In Season 3, Episode 17 of The Clone Wars, Ghosts of Mortis, the son, who comprised the dark side of the Force, intentionally showed Anakin his future as a means to win him over to the dark side. In a way very similar to how Palpatine ultimately manipulated Anakin, the son revealed Anakin's fate, telling him that he could prevent such a future by joining him and destroying the Emperor. Beyond just a grab for power by the son, though, this moment had monumental implications for Star Wars. While Anakin was sadly already well on his way to becoming Darth Vader, with not only his massacre of the Tusken Raiders but also his countless moments of jealousy and anger in the Clone Wars already pointing in that direction, he didn't anticipate that he was headed down a dark path. He was aware, particularly with the Tuskens, that he'd done terrible things, but he didn't think he was delving further into the dark side. Had he known, everything might have changed. Anakin would have wanted to prevent that future from happening. Although Anakin eventually fell and was perhaps always skeptical of the Jedi and their motivations, he nevertheless did have plenty to live for. Moreover, he believed strongly in the Republic, enough so that he fought valiantly for the Republic's victory in the Clone Wars, even bringing his Padawan Ahsoka Tano onto the battlefield with him despite knowing how dangerous and brutal it was. Anakin's fall to the dark side didn't happen all at once, it's true, but to see himself fall to the dark side and betray the people he loved was an obvious shock. At the time, he also didn't have the same temptations. He had already lost his mother, but Padme wasn't yet pregnant, and Anakin didn't yet fear her death. While it was a much less serious aspect of his fall, Anakin hadn't yet been rejected from the rank of Jedi Master either, although he knew the Jedi Council always held him at arm's length. This likely only added to his confusion and pain at witnessing what his future held. Anakin was hiding a marriage and was disgruntled with the Jedi, but to tear down the life he'd built seemed unfathomable. Ultimately, this very sentiment is what Obi-Wan Kenobi communicated to Anakin on Mustafar. In the end, Anakin bewilderingly became the very thing he sought to destroy. In the process, he also torched his relationships with Obi-Wan, Padme, Ahsoka, and even R2-D2 and, worse, killed his wife. Rather than viewing this vision as a promise of future power as a true Sith Lord might, Anakin was effectively tortured by the thought, even more painful, this proves that these were not Anakin's true intentions or aspirations. He really was a victim of his circumstances and Palpatine's manipulations.